Well, another season has come and gone, and I am here talking about why my team failed. This one is a little different for the channel. If you all, I was looking back on the history of these videos, these season recap videos, or just the videos in general too, and see how I've grown over the years. Past couple years now, ever since I started doing these on a daily, weekly basis, talking and all that. You had 2001, 2022, and it's like, all right, you expected growth, but didn't really get it. So, oh well. Then you have last season. Unexpected. Nobody saw it coming. Not a soul. Make the playoffs. Beat the Rangers in 7 games. Lose to the Hurricanes in 5. Unfortunately, in round 2, they weren't ready. And then this season coming in, I said it multiple times, the most anticipated season of New Jersey Devils hockey. Everybody was high on us. That could have been the 3rd best cup odds going into the season. Negative 750 odds to make the playoffs. You would have been a fool to say, you know what? I don't think this team makes it. You would have made a lot of money if you would have said that, and if you did, you got this week's lottery numbers while you're at it, please. I could use some cash over here. But nobody saw this coming. The amount of regression and a giant step back this team took this season. So with that, welcome back to the channel, everyone. My name is Trevor, and on today's video, we have the 2023-2024 season recap video for the New Jersey Devils. I got 6 pages, 6 long pages of notes. I've been getting stuff together since the 1st of April. It really came to fold after the season officially ended because then I could get all the stats and stuff like that. But I've been doing notes since April, first week of April on my thoughts this season and just gathering up notes and stuff. So we're going to take this nice and slowly like I always do with these videos. So grab something to eat, grab something to drink. I got a bottle of water here that'll hopefully last me. So let's get right down to it. Wow. Okay. So opening thoughts. I pretty much just gave them to you. All the expectations in the world for this team going into the season. A lot of people marked this down as playoff contenders, even cup contenders. Unfortunately, it did not happen. If I could, how would I summarize this season? It was just a perfect storm, a perfect storm of everything bad that can happen to you. You name it, it had happened to the Devils this season. Major regression, as I mentioned, injuries galore, the bad coaching, piss poor defense and goaltending, slow starts every night, 16 back-to-backs leading the entire NHL, blowing leads, the lack of basic hockey fundamentals. Like it was sometimes embarrassing seeing what this team did on most nights. No toughness. Team gave up. Unlike last year. Last year the team would fight and claw to the end. This year's team just simply didn't have it. So all those things put together, put it in a giant pot, mix it up. That's a bad recipe for anybody. And it unfortunately happened to the Devils this past season. The Devils finished with a record of 38, 39, and 5 for a total of 81 points. So still considering, after everything that happened, 81 points is a freaking miracle at this point. They scored 264 goals, gave up 283 goals against. Their power play had a 22.7 conversion rate, which was 11th in the National Hockey League. Granted, those numbers are inflated based off how successful they were at the start of the season. By the end of the season, folks, the Devils had the worst-ranked power play in the National Hockey League since January 1st. It was embarrassingly bad. I didn't even want power plays past a point. Seriously, just don't even give it to us. It's ridiculous. The penalty kill, 81%, 11th in the NHL. They finished pretty strong on the penalty kill. I'll give them that. They improved a lot. They finished with a home record of 17-21-3 at Prudential Center. And on the road, it was 21-18-2 away from home. A points percentage of .494 at a negative 19 goal differential. So, yeah, not a good year. Excuse me. Wow. That was embarrassing. We're going to keep this one take, though, because fuck it. That's how I do things. So definitely not the best of year. You could definitely say that. Nightmare. I've heard that. Horrifying. Embarrassing. That's another word you could say. But, again, going over everything that happened this year, a point that I want to bring up right away is that this team had at least one injury every game this season. From game 1 to 82, at least one player was injured for them. And how can you say that? Well, when the opening night roster was announced, one of the moves on there was season opening LTIR for Nolan Foote. Oh, Nolan Foote, who's he? He wouldn't help. Well, it still counts. And after all the injuries and stuff, Nolan Foote didn't even play his first NHL game until the last full week of the season. How embarrassing is that? Not embarrassing, but that's just what it was this year. Every little thing that could have gone bad did. And I just want to make this clear. The Devils are not in a worse situation right now than teams like San Jose, Chicago, Montreal. There are teams that are legit bad around the NHL, where the Devils were a few years ago. I want to make that clear. I'm not saying, oh, pity us, oh, boo-hoo. No, there are teams who have much worse situations than us, okay? Unfortunately for the Devils, and this is a team that had mighty expectations and talent, and it failed, which raises a couple red flags for some people. I'm partially raised. I'm not gonna say, oh no, this is it for the core, it's over, blow it up, start over again. No. After a season like last year's, okay, let's just put it one more time in perspective. 13-game win streak, 30 wins on the road, most points ever the franchise has had, multiple, Jack Hughes, 99 points. You weren't gonna repeat that. It's impossible to do so. There was gonna be some regression. Unfortunately, there was a lot of regression. So, there's that. The Devils finished 7th in the Metro Division, 13th in the Eastern Conference, 23rd in the NHL. Not pretty by any means. And for shits and giggles, they have, I think it was 3%, a little over 3% chance to get the number 1 pick. We do not need a number 1 pick. Let me say that. No offense to Celebrini. I think I'm saying his name correctly. If I botched it, I'm sorry. We don't need him. hear me out, because I know he's an elite talent and he could help anybody in this league. I understand that. But there are teams that are more desperate that need a player of that caliber to be the centerpiece of their franchise. The Devils don't need another franchise centerpiece. They don't. Jack Hughes, Nico Hischier, Timo Meier, Dougie Hamilton. Yes, did I mention Bratt? Even throw Mercer in there. I know he had a down year. But you throw a Cebellini in the mix, he's... where would he fit in? So, I understand the talent that he is, and if we get the number 1 pick, it would be amazing. We don't need it, though. We don't. Give it to a team like San Jose. I know some Sharks fans. Give it to them. They need him, not us. I can name 5 other teams right now that need him before us. So, look, as much as a number 1 pick would be nice, we're not a lottery team. We're not. Those days are over. And you could think, well, what happened this year? Well, we'll get to it. Month-by-month breakdown of what happened. October, the Devils went 5-2-1. Very strong month of October. Unfortunately, after that, that's when Dougie Hamilton tore his pec. He was out for the year. Nico Hischier missed 11 games. Jack got injured for a little bit, so 6-7 in the month of November. December, 8-5-1. Not bad. January, 4-6-1. February, 6-5-1. March, they went 6-9, and they finished April after they were basically eliminated in that point. 2-5-1 in the month of April. So, bad ending. Really bad ending. So, now we're going to get into some top leaders from this year. We're going to start with the goals department. How about Timo Meier, folks? Timo Meier, 28 goals. I'm going to get into him in a little bit. Jesper Bratt with 56. He led the assist department. Points, 83. Bratt leading that. Plus minus, Lazar with a plus 10. The lowest plus minus was Timo Meier with a minus 28. Penalty minutes, the man who spent the most time in the sin bin, that belongs to Kevin Ball with 82 penalty minutes, leaving the team. And Bratt, Ball, Mercer, Holtz, and Luke played all 82 games this season. So 5 players playing all 82 games. Mercer continuing his Iron Man streak. He has not missed a single game since he came into the NHL. Hope that continues moving forward. So let us get right into the stats, the full team stats of how everyone did this year. As I said, Jesper Bratt leading the team in points with 83. Bratt, so when the 2 contract extensions got announced last summer, the Bratt and Timo ones around the draft, after everything that happened with Bratt the season before, him holding out until August, signing a deal last minute before arbitration, 1-year deal, I thought, you know what? I thought Timo would have been the one to step up more, considering what happened. Unfortunately, Timo took a major step back, but then rebounded beautifully. But Bratt was, out of everyone in the core, Bratt was the one who not only played all 82 games, 27 goals, 56 assists, 83 points, as I mentioned. He was the one that stepped up out of everyone in the core when they needed him. Because most of the core guys were out. At some point, Nico was out. Jack, Dougie missed 90% of the season. And I'm going to get to Dougie in a second. I do have another point about him. But Bratt was the one that played the best out of everyone. And he earned my respect this season. He really did. I've been on the fence with Bratt for a couple years now, but after a season like that, he's slowly becoming one of my favorites on the team. So, Jesper Bratt was the man who, when everyone was down, Bratt put his head down and continued doing what he did. So, Good for Jack right behind him with 74 points. All right, so Jack Hughes. Let's get into Jack Hughes. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Jack Hughes, ladies and gentlemen. How things turn when someone gets injured multiple times, struggles, misses penalty shots, doesn't look like himself. Jack is slowly starting to become hated. Who would have thought this a year ago? I don't want to look too much into it. I really don't. But when you are the superstar of the team, you have expectations that need to be lived up to. When you're the guy, you're expected to play like the guy. Unfortunately, we may have to start a conversation about how Jack might be injury prone, which is not something I want to really talk about. I don't, but he still has not played 82 games in his career. He's at least missed some little bit or significant amount of time at one point in each season he's played in. He still hasn't cracked 100 points. At this season, looked nothing like he normally does. Granted, he was playing hurt. We did find that out. The team rushed him back in February because they thought they still had a chance to make it. Unfortunately, it backfired. Got shoulder surgery 2 weeks ago now. He is back home in Michigan recovering, and he will be back in time for training camp of next season. So that is good. I am happy they did that. That was the one thing I was concerned about when they shut him down. I thought they were going to wait. I'm like, nope, get it done right away, and they did. So thank you for that. He will be ready in time for training camp. So that's a good sign. But next season's going to be a big one for Jack. He's got to turn himself around and get back in good graces with this fan base. Because a lot of people hate him right now. I don't. I'm not in that camp. But, you know, we have to look at it at both sides here. Sooner, at one point or later, we got to start having a discussion. So, Jack, next season's going to be a big year for Jack. One, he needs to stay healthy. He just has to. Two, he needs to crack 100 points. I want at least 105, 110 from the kid. And he needs to look like his own self in the process. Why did we draft him? So, I still love Jack. He's the center core. He's the centerpiece of this team. But next season is a big season for him. Nico Hischier next. So, Nico. The captain missed 11 games. That was in early November. But that was the only injury time he missed. And you could tell in that early November stretch, if you watched my postseason recap videos, by the way, I'll give a little plug to this. I mentioned how the team just looked different without their captain on the ice. And you could say that for any team. The captain brings something to the team. He brings that... What's the word I'm looking for here? He brings a morale. He brings an energy. The team plays better when your captain is on the ice. And the Devils certainly did when he was out there. So, 67 points for Nico. Obviously not the best, but considering all that happened this year, we'll take it. Now, Timo Meier. Oh boy, Timo Meier. Wow, what a difference a couple weeks makes for a guy. Boy, those, I can't believe people wanted him out of town by mid-November. I've been saying it all season, and I'm one of Timo's biggest fans. I love the guy so much. No, there was just no patience. There was just nothing. And after what we found out at exit interview day, yeah, I could see why the man was fucking struggling. And I'll get to that. Folks, it's year 1 of 8 of the contract. He will be fine. And considering what he did after Green became head coach and what he was going through throughout the year, a fully healthy Timo is going to kick some fucking ass. I can't wait. I love the man. I'm hopefully going to get his autograph at the team autograph signing next September, early October. So I can't wait for that. Luke Hughes. Oh boy, Luke Hughes next on the points list. Timo, by the way, 28 goals, 24 assists, 52 points. As I mentioned, led the team in goals with 28. And that's surprising as hell. After what he's been through, all the injury nonsense and stuff, the fact he finished with 28 is absolutely amazing. Luke. What a rookie season for Luke Hughes. 82 games played, so he played every game, the kid. Good job. I don't know if I said it on camera, but at the beginning, I know I said it to other people. I don't know if I did on camera or not. Luke Hughes, I said before the season, if he struggles, don't turn on him. Well, it was a rough season for Luke Hughes. Not scoring rise. I mean, 9 goals, 38 assists, 47 points for a rookie who played in all 82 games. Solid. But here's the problem, though. The minus 25 next to Luke's name. That is, compared to, that's pretty close to Timo's minus 28. So, Luke, it was definitely a year for Luke Hughes. A learning experience year for sure. He definitely looked like a rookie in a lot of his games. And I'm hearing, we gotta trade him. He ain't gonna make it. This is what people were telling me about, and he does this. He's a fucking rookie. He's not gonna be electric out of the gate. There's gonna be struggles. And again, they were supposed to ease him into the lineup. Okay? Rookie, you're not going to put him out there for 20 minutes a game. Well, guess what? They fucking had to because of the goddamn injuries. Luke was averaging 20 minutes of ice time a game for well over a couple months near the end of the year. I think that's actually what he finished with. What do you expect? He's still getting his legs. Yes, he had some lapses. Yes, the turnovers were bad, the defensive lapses. Oh, defense struggled this year. But it's going to help him in the long term. Another year, another summer, another training camp. He's only going to grow and get better. And he's only, 19, 20 years old? Relax. Calm down. He'll be fine. Luke will be perfectly fine. Couple more guys here. Erik Haula. You could see why he was now bounced from team to team. Haula. I don't know about Haula. It was a weird year. Weird year for everyone, really. Mercer, a big old down year. Dawson Mercer, oh boy, the man who was going to be an RFA this summer. Still is, but you were thinking, man, what is he going to get? 5-6 million? Well, it's now looking more like a bridge deal if you base it off this year. I think Tom Fitzgerald, based on the way he gives out his contracts, will still give him a decent deal. And people are going to react to it because, look what he did this year. 20 goals, 13 assists, 33 points, a minus 26. I think Mercer's going to be fine, like a lot of these guys. I'm calling this year an anomaly. I really am. And I know history doesn't tend to tell me that. Based on the past however many years, history would tell you this is the standard. This is what Devils hockey is. But one, just for my mental fucking sanity, I hope it's not true. But two, I trust these core of players. Some of them less. Like a Palat. who's making $6 million, 11 goals, 20 assists for 31 points. You would expect more of a player of him getting paid. Holtz, I think Holtz goes. I really do. I don't think he was bad in the sense, but I just don't see him being a part of this core. And it makes me sting now thinking, man, they could have traded Holtz to San Jose and kept Zetterlund, who's just thriving with the Sharks. Curtis Lazar, I love Curtis Lazar, man. Talk about a guy who very underrated, not because of what he's doing numbers-wise. 25 points, plus 10. He's just that bottom six guy you need on your team, and that's what I love about him. So, Lazar, great year for him. And the fact he has a friendly feud with the Hughes brothers is hilarious. Marino. Man, John Marino. Talk about a fall from earth. Man, this guy was our top defenseman. And then, I don't know what happened this year. I don't know what happened for much of the defense, of course. Simon Nemec. I love Nemec. I know there's the video out there and on this channel of me when Nemec got drafted and me saying, no! Look, I didn't think we needed him at the time, all right? That was 2 years ago, guys. Come on, a lot of things can change in 2 years. With the players that were still on the board, I thought they could have maybe gotten a Shane Wright, maybe. But, you look back at, and they drafted Luke the year before. I didn't think defense was a priority, but I love Nemec. I love what he brings. He's going to be an amazing player, and he will be the guy to lead the defensive core in the future. Dougie Hamilton. All right, so Dougie. Dougie next on the list. He only played 20 games, and then he tore his pec out for the year. A lot of people forget that Dougie Hamilton's on this team. I noticed my pin here is leaning to the left a bit. Let me change that. I talk with people from other teams, and it's respectively they don't know too much about us, but I bring up oh, Dougie Hamilton's out, and they're like, oh, Dougie Hamilton? Oh yeah, he's a devil. People kind of forget about that. I don't get the hate with Dougie. Is it the fact he's making $9 million? Okay. But the guy brings that just beautiful shot of his, the power play quarterback, and he's the white whale. He was the one that chose New Jersey. The first big-time free agent in however many years. At least in my lifetime. Anytime we got a big player, it was just via trade. Dougie was like, no, I'm signing with New Jersey. And you really got a perspective on what he brings to the team and what you miss about him when he's not there. Just quickly going into the exit interview quotes. Dougie Hamilton had a quote of the day saying, a hard year for everyone, hard year for me not being able to help. You see what happens every night and you just wish you could be down there with your team to help them out. He wanted to be, it sucks. You want to be there. You want to play. You want to help your team. And when you can't and you're stuck in a suite every night, in a suit every night, just watching, it sucks. I think they missed Dougie Hamilton. The power play struggled because of it. I'm not saying he was an end-all be-all and why it struggled, but losing your number one guy in the power play, that hurts. So, I think a year of Dougie coming back and returning to form will be absolutely beautiful. And hopefully that turns around how some people think of him in the fan base. Brendan Smith, gone. Chris Tierney, gone. Nathan Bastian. Is Bastian even a free agent? No. I wish he was gone. I want this bottom six rebuilt. Kevin Ball. Oh boy, brother. Jesus Christ. Oh, maybe they trade him, maybe they don't. I want him gone. Siegenthaler regressed hard. Siegs. Sieg looked bad throughout the year. And you know what? He was paired with Dougie Hamilton last year, so I think him playing with Dougie again might help him, but Siegs look horrendous along with everyone else on the defense, mostly. Nick DeSimone, minor league guy. Thomas Nosek, I even forgot was on this team at one point. He's probably gone. Curtis McDermott, Fitzgerald wants to bring him back. I don't know. I really don't care. Look, the brawl at MSG was interesting, but that's all he does. What, you're going to bring back him and then pull him out for the one couple games a year against your rivals? Like, come on, dude, really? And then Nolan Foote. Poor Nolan Foote. I feel bad for the kid. He said, let me see. I know I'll keep going to exit interviews, but I just, Nolan Foote was battling a lower back injury, been lingering for the last 4+ years. God damn, man. Poor kid. Only gets to play 4 games. I hope he gets another shot. I really do. He is a RFA, but we will get to that. So that was the team stats. Oh, the goalies. How could we forget about our 2 new goaltenders, Kaapo Kähkönen and Jake Allen? Man, compared to what we had previously, these guys were a beam of sunshine, and I don't know what it's going to be next year. I really don't. Fitzgerald promises to go big game hunting. I don't know what to expect from that, but Jake Allen's definitely staying. He has to. He had the kick in on the contract, and there is a pending condition with his trade that I will get to. Sorry. Kaapo Kähkönen struggled. You can see why, but maybe he gets a shot at his 3rd goalie, maybe? I don't know. He would love to come back. He said in the exit interview day, it was definitely a nice change of scenery for him, and he hopes he gets another shot, so we'll see with him. Alright, so that was the team itself. And before I get into draft picks, contract-wise, yada, 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 I just want to go over next. You know what? No, I'm going to save that to the end, actually. Yeah, let me save that to the end. Let's get into the draft picks and contract-wise. So, this is what the Devils will have going into the offseason. The Devils will have $21 million in cap space this offseason. The restricted free agents are as follows: Dawson Mercer, Nolan Foote, Graham Clark, Shane Bowers, Nico Daws, and Akira Schmid. So, restricted free agents means you have much time to negotiate with them, even past the July 1st deadline. That's for UFAs. So RFAs, they can negotiate all summer. And if they don't wish to negotiate with them, they can have a team give them a contract offer that they'll have a chance to match. And if they don't, then they get draft compensation for it. The UFAs, these are the ones they have until July 1st to decide on. Thomas Nosek, Chris Tierney, Brendan Smith, Curtis McDermott, Nick DeSimone, and Kaapo Kähkönen. I see all those guys leaving. Fitzgerald says he wants to bring back McDermott. Okay, whatever. I'm indifferent about it. And we'll see about Kaapo Kähkönen. I don't know. I want to say I love, but a 3rd goalie just to have would be nice. And that would keep Schmid and Daws in the AHL for the whole year, which they absolutely need. And a couple contract notes. A lot of money coming off the books this summer, including the buyout of Corey Schneider. That is it. It is over. We are no longer paying him. And next season is the last season we pay the recapture penalty of Ilya Kovalchuk. It is finally over after next season. The paying Covey is over, or at least how much it cost us. And it's nothing. It's $250,000, but still, finally, that goes off the books next season. After next season. Draft pick notes. So here's what the Devils will have going into the 2024 NHL draft. They have their own first, their own third, a Winnipeg third, their own fifth, a Colorado fifth, and their own sixth. The second rounder was part of the Timo trade from last season, so San Jose gets that. Their fourth was originally traded to Vancouver as a part of the Lazar trade last season. They can get that back depending on a compensation, on a condition that happens in the playoffs, so we'll see about that. The seventh was traded to Nashville last summer at the draft. The extra Winnipeg third was a part of the Tyler Toffoli trade, and the extra fifth was a part of the Timo trade, originally Colorado's, which they traded with San Jose back in 2012. So there we go. Those are our draft picks going into the summer, and like I said, the Devils have a little over a 3% chance to get pick number 1 in the draft. Let's get into exit interviews. Let's do that for a little bit. Okay, these pages now. I'm trying to be organized the best way I can, so bear with me. Exit interview, just some thoughts. Not all of these are quotes, just notes. Luke Hughes will represent. Luke Hughes, Simon Nemec, Andre Palat, and Thomas Nosek are expected to play in the World Championships. Luke Hughes will represent Team USA, obviously. Simon Nemec will represent his home country of Slovakia. And Palat and Nosek are expecting to join Czechia in the World Championships. Jesper Bratt may be going as well to represent Sweden. However, he needs to discuss it with the NJ medical staff. I mean, Bratt doesn't need to go, but if they clear him, great. If they don't, he don't. That is a risk playing in Worlds. You don't want to risk injuring your NHL careers, your NHL next season. Nate Bastian and Dougie Hamilton were getting really close to practice, and that was the timeline. Devils made the playoffs. Dougie would have been there. And boy, that would have been a boost. As I said, Nolan Foote was battering a lower back injury, lingering for the past 4 years. Timo Meier revealed that he had issues with both MCLs, among other things, this season. This is why I mentioned the fact that Timo did what he did. 2 MCL injuries. And among other things that happened, the fact he still put up 28 goals, 24 assists, 52 points is something to be proud of. And man, this team fully healthy, if everything can just come together and be healthy at one point, they can be deadly. And they need a couple other things, well, which we'll get to. I gave the Dougie Hamilton quote, and let's get on to what the coach and Tom Fitzgerald had to say. So Travis Green was just mostly selling himself for the coaching job, the permanent coaching job, which you expect from the guy. I don't blame him, but he said all the right things you expect him to say. His best quote was, for a team like this, sometimes you need a season like this one. Make yourselves better. These guys will use it for fuel and motivation for next season. I hope I can be here for it. Tom Fitzgerald did say, I think it was a couple games left. I think it might have been the last game, really. Because he was doing the pregame show, which I could see from my seating point. I could see the pregame set every night. I just looked to my right, and I'm like, oh, look at that. There's Erica and Bryce. Oh, is that Tom Fitzgerald? Oh, look at that. But he said he would consider Green in his search, which is the respectable thing to do. You know, I don't think he gets the job, and that had a lot of people freaking out, but you at least got to give him a shot. So, we'll see there. Let us get to Tom Fitzgerald, the general manager of the team. Fitzy. A lot of hate towards Fitzy. Some people think he shouldn't even be the GM right now, nor thinking he should be in charge of the next coaching search. He's on thin ice with a lot of people. People want him gone. They said he's a failure and he should be ashamed of what happened. Can you really blame the GM for all the injuries, all the whatever nice stuff for this season? Think about that for a question. Just think for a second. How much do you really put on the GM for what happened this season? He did everything right on paper. He made a big trade for a 30-plus goal scorer. He extended Timo and Bratt. Did he ignore the goaltending? Yeah, I'll admit that. But could you blame him for the amount of injuries? Granted, he let Andrew Burnett walk. I wouldn't have done that and kept Lindy, but it was a weird situation. I digress, though. How much blame can you truly put on Fitzgerald? And give me a real answer. Don't just say, yes, he sucks. So, where was I? This summer is going to define him as a GM. His legacy as a general manager is on this summer, this offseason. This is his last chance. He needs to nail the coach hire, which is the most important thing. He needs to get the right moves made, or else he's going to be gone by the end of next season. It's as simple as that. The first major thing he said yesterday was he wants a coaching decision made by the NHL draft, which is 9 weeks away. So, they're being quick with it. I know I just spilled water all over me. Damn it. I was doing good this video, too. He wants that coaching decision. He wants to name one by the draft, which is respectable. It's fine. He's got to nail it, though. He's got to nail it. He's got 9 weeks to do so. So, good luck, Fitzy. But you think about it from this vantage point, which is something I've been saying. I hate to be a homer. I hate to be biased. But you look at the open seats, the open jobs around the NHL. Who's got it better than us right now? You still have a wicked young core that's still growing together. One of the youngest rosters in all of hockey. Young team, fast team. Granted, they need some improvements on the back end and the goaltending, but the GM is going to handle that. That's his job. You're in a situation where you can join a team that's ready to take that next step. Ready to become true playoff contenders. I don't think of any coach that would want that job, man. Excuse me. I don't think any coach who would dream of who wants it. Who would not want the job? So, I just hope he makes the right move. Fitzgerald called the team out for being immature in multiple ways, including himself. Sometimes you got to be punched in the nose. What we got was what we deserved. Called the team out, which is good. That's what you want. Fitzgerald pretty much nailed everything. I'll admit that. Him and Green gave really good answers. But talking can only do you so much, especially for a fan base like this one that's been struggling. Only 3 playoff appearances since 2012, so talking the talk can only do you so much. You need to start taking action, and I hope they do. And his top quote, I know exactly what these players want. Last season was not a fluke. I think we can reach that point again as a franchise. Now is the fun part where I can do what I do best to make the team better. That quote is going to be saved. Last season was not a fluke. People are going to remember that, Fitzy. I hope he is right. So that was that from Tom Fitzgerald. And, you know, it's... What am I doing? I'm getting this one. Sorry. We all know what this team needs. Let's be real. You can ask any Devils fan. They know what we need to make ourselves better. Can he do it? It takes two to tango if you want to make a move. That's all I'm going to say. Because people say, oh, he did nothing during the season to make the team better. Why didn't he do this in November or December? Who's to say he wasn't trying? Jake Allen himself came out and admitted after he got traded, I wouldn't waive. The Devils asked for me in November. I would not waive my no trade clause at the time because I would be the third goaltender in the swing. And there's an argument. Well, he would have been the best out of all three of them. And maybe you are right. At the time, between Vitek, Schmid, and if you bring in Allen in November, Allen was probably better than all three of them. But he didn't want to be the third goalie in the string. He didn't. I was surprised he got the Vitek contract off the books when they traded for Kakkonen, excuse me. But people just don't know what's going on behind the scenes. You really don't. You have no idea what goes on in the front office. All we could do is speculate and talk as fans and think we know what's going on. I'll admit it. I do it sometimes. You probably do as well. But this is it for him. He needs to nail it, man. He needs it, or else he's going to be fired. He's going to be fired. So I have now been going for 47 minutes. If you have stuck through this video, thank you thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. And I want to wrap this up with my final thoughts as a season ticket holder. Let's end on a positive note, shall we? I finished the year 13-20 attending games. I went to 33 games. 3-0 in the preseason. I know it doesn't matter, but that's what happened during preseason. I was there for 3 games. They went 3-0. What do you want from me? I finished on a 2-game losing streak, unfortunately, and they scored 120 goals when I was in attendance this year. So very good. The highs, opening night, of course. I mean, come on. There's no better feeling than being there opening night. A nice fresh start for the season, the player introductions, everything. Jack Hughes' OT winner versus Boston in December. That was exciting. The Luke late pulled goalie tying goal and the Timo breakaway overtime goal against Columbus. The Toffoli OT winner versus Vegas. All the OT winners are fun. We didn't really go much into overtime this year. Only, what was it, 5? Yeah, 5 overtime games, which is really low. And only 2 shootout games, too. And the only other shootout one came in, literally, the 2 shootout games, the second game of the season, and one at the very beginning of April. How is that hilarious? And they lose both, because that's what they do in shootouts. Great crowds every night. They averaged an attendance of 98% this season. So good job, everyone who came out throughout what has been a very piss-poor season, team performance-wise. The lows, you know, December 1st against San Jose, that was the lowest point of this season. That Sharks game was just, bad, man, very bad. The bad losses, the countless bottom feeder teams, which just killed us. Giving up the first goal majority of the nights. And yes, I do have the official number on that. Ready for this one, boys and girls. The New Jersey Devils allowed the first goal 57 times in 82 games this season. Not a league record, but very close to it. 57 times they allowed the first goal this season. I don't care if you're the Vegas Golden Knights, the Dallas Stars, Florida Panthers, whoever it is. You're not gonna win a lot of games giving up that many first goals of said game. It's impossible. I would be sitting down most nights just being like, all right, bring it to me. Bring it to me. Let's see that goal light go off right in front of my vantage point here, in front of my net, the closer net to me. I am on the side where the Devils defend twice. That's where my seats are. So I would just look for that goal light to go off, because that's what it would do every night for the first goal of that game. Majority of the nights. And I should have brought it up at the beginning of the video, but what really was the, all right, this is it point of the season? And it's actually good. I'll end with that, actually. So to wrap it all up, whatever this season was, let's remember really quick, February 17th of this year, the Stadium Series game against the Philadelphia Flyers at MetLife Stadium. What a great night for the team and the organization. The NHL really made it feel like New Jersey, the state, was the star of the show. And it was. And the Devils beat the Flyers in the process. And that type of game, and I know our season was pretty bad, but that is a turning point type of game. That's the type of game where you could go on a winning streak afterwards and go make a push. It was a beautiful night. Unfortunately, it swung the other way, because the week after that, loss at Washington, 5-1 loss to the Rangers. Oh, they beat Montreal on that Saturday, and lose to Tampa on Sunday, losing 3 of 4 last week, and that's what put the season to bed. Specifically, the 5-1 Ranger game. And that Washington game was bad, too. It just shows, man, like, Stadium Series game, that high, all those emotions and everything, and then you followed it up with a dud. And that's what they never really got anything going. They couldn't. They never won more than 3 games in this season. They never lost more than 3 games either. So it was just, you push, you couldn't get the wheels going. And I will say, those 16 back-to-backs, just to wrap it up, which is absolutely horrendous, they went 3-11-2 on those second half of back-to-backs. Ugh. Disgusting. I hate that we get 16 of those, by the way. NHL, you might want to lower that number. It sucks because where we're at geographically, we're easily able to play multiple teams easily because of the international airports that are in that tri-state area. So it sucks, but nearly 16, that's kind of a lot. So, that officially puts this season to bed. I have said everything I've needed to. It is now over. We can move into the off season. And as much as I said this season was the most anticipated season of New Jersey Devils hockey, this off season is going to be the biggest for the franchise. It is. Because if they don't do it right, who knows if this core is going to win one. Who knows if this core can compete for a Stanley Cup. But I will be back throughout the offseason when news and anything big happens. I will make quick update videos. But I, again, want to thank you all for following me through this season. My first year as a season ticket holder. Here are my pins. One last time that I got. A bunch with all the other giveaway items I've gotten throughout the season. It has been a pleasure. It has been an honor. And I will be returning as a season ticket holder for year 2. Starting in September. For preseason games. And then the team is off overseas to begin the year. So that'll be fun. And I do have a season ticket holder event coming up at the end of the month where we get to paint the ice, which is really nice. Make your one final market impression before they melt the ice away for the summer. So that is going to wrap it up for this one. Thank you all so much for watching. 55 minutes in. I appreciate every single one of you who have followed me on this journey this year. It had its ups and downs, but you know what? It's an experience and memories I'll never forget. So, until the next one, my name is Trevor, and I will see you for the next one.
Second hole. Thanks for showing up. It was amazing. Sorry.